So I'm having a chat with Vince Freeman. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Good, pleasure's all mine. So we've been playing a new single of yours called "Passing By." Tell us a bit about the
Right.
single first of all.
Well, you know what? I think we were briefly talking about COVID and the pandemic. I've been a musician for longer than I can remember. Suddenly I got to, COVID happened, and I think it obviously changed the lives of, millions and millions and millions
Mm.
of people. And but my particular story was that I just found that I couldn't work. And I was like, what do I do? And the end result was I decided to convert a horse box into a coffee truck
Mm.
in order to, I guess in some way be around music. So I take the truck around to festivals and stuff like that. Um, However, it's a great idea if you're pretty good at making coffee. Not such a great idea if you've never made coffee before in your life, and you're kind of learning on your feet. So I spent a lot of my time watching people with coffee cups from other people's coffee business just pass me by and just walk by. And I know, pardon the pun, but passing by was, genuinely inspired by this one particular day where I was next to an ice rink and I was there from about 8:30 in the morning till about 10:30 at night. And strangely, it was just a beautiful experience, just watching little snippets of people's lives as they passed me by,
Mm.
going about doing their day. I'm completely invisible to them, even though it's a great big blue horse truck. Um, but it was just kind of, yeah, I was like, do you know what? Am I just passing by? Am I just killing time here? And yeah, that was the inspiration for it. And I've always been a people watcher, so that's how
Yeah,
passing by came about.
nice. And can you make coffee now?
I can make a half decent coffee. I wouldn't say, I mean, literally, before our interview, I went out and got myself a coffee. So, that'll give you an idea.
Yeah.
I prefer to get one from someone who actually knows what they're doing.
Well, you're much better at making music, I must admit, and you've released an album. I think about a month ago now, "Scars, Ghosts, and Glory." For those who've not heard it yet, tell us about it.
It's the album that I I wasn't sure I thought I was going to get to make.
Hmm.
And the reason for that is I guess at heart, I'm a perfectionist and I never think anything's good enough.
Mm.
And with regards to my own album, I always felt that everything was a compromise. And, I have been afforded the opportunity to make an album that, genuinely, I wouldn't change a note on it. It is in many ways, it's sort of semi autobiographical, but I feel like there's a thread of acceptance through it. The title of the album, I think, is very reflective of the songs and the content. Scars, Ghosts, and Glory. All the scars that you pick up along the way, all the ghosts, all the what ifs, and all the little wins you get. A half decent cup of coffee in the morning, or all the little glories along the way. So. Yeah, that's the album. I've never been prouder of anything I've done creatively, and I've just been, really humbled by the reaction from, listeners and fans since it's been released.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And you've been busy touring as well. How's the touring been?
Oh, it's amazing, and it's sort of bittersweet at the moment because, and it's weird because obviously there are 6 shows left,
Mm.
which is still a lot. But this was a 32 date tour with Scouting for Girls, which has meant that I've been able to perform in front of one audiences that have no idea who I am and why should they? I think to the wider public, I'm a debut artist. I'm someone that you will, almost certainly never have heard of.
Mm.
And I get to perform in front of, 1,000, 1,500 people plus a night. And it's been amazing. It's been funny. It's been humbling because I think one of the most scary things is kind of, pouring your heart and soul into something and then kind of going, oh, I've got to now show it to people and see what they think.
Mm.
And, you know, it's all very well and good if if you've got a song that people know, they go, "Oh, I know this one. I'm going to sing along to it." But if you haven't done that and you're presenting a song that no one's ever heard of, you're doing it as somebody that they don't even know you, let alone the song.
Mm.
And the reactions have been quite something, and very, I'll be eternally grateful for this tour. It's been amazing, and I just don't want it to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. But there is only about a week left, I think. What's
Hmm.
happening with you then and for the rest of this year?
Well, one of the things I can tell you, because we started teasing it now. One of the tracks on the album is called Real Love. Um, I feel like it's really special. It was about the realization that I'm eternally late for stuff, and I always say to my wife, "Oh, I'll be home at 10," and then one thing leads to another, and it's
Yeah.
2 a.m. That happened a couple of years back, and I'll be in at 10, babe. Came in at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my wife had fallen asleep, and I was just struck by the fact that I've got everything I need, and I sort of immediately had this line in my head, even at 3 in the morning, my love, you're as good as it gets. And we've re-recorded it with the London Community Gospel Choir, and you know, hopefully you guys will play it. I think it's really special. It's about togetherness. It's about being thankful for the things that you got. And I think in this day and age, it's kind of needed.
Mm.
There's so much bad news out there, and I think you know, uh, bad news is only as bad as the perspective that there's always things to be thankful for,
Mm.
I guess is what I'm saying. And I feel like Real Love is a celebration of that. And I hope as many people hear it as possible.
Yeah.
So that's coming out in the next 2 weeks. And then in the new year, I'm just excited. I'll be doing some of my own shows. We're about to announce a headline show in London, and that should sell out pretty quickly. And it's just mad for
Yeah.
me. It's mad because I genuinely thought I was at a stage in my career where no one was going to be looking at me as an artist. Um, Certainly not a touring recording artist. And I'm now doing that as opposed to writing for other people. I love all of that, but there's something about performing live, and I absolutely love it. I feel at home every time I step out on stage.
Yeah.
So long may that continue.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on the London show in next year. What else is 2025 going to hold for you? Is it going to be a touring year? You're going to be doing some writing? What's the idea?
I've always been I guess I've always been what you would call a grafter. I don't like to turn opportunities down, and but by the same token, there's only so much planning you can do, Jim. My team and myself, we're always trying to come up with ideas. I've been asked, to write for, some artists, obviously, which fortunately I can't tell you about. But I'm looking forward to kind of trying to get out there and, maybe do another tour with a different artist.
Yeah.
There are lots of incredible artists touring next year, and I'd love to jump on a stage with them. And if that fails, I'll go out and knock on people's doors and see if I can come and play on their sofa.
I'd like to see that. That sounds
Well,
entertaining.
I've done it before.
Well, you got to make ends meet, haven't you? I'm talking about the writing side of things for yourself, for others as well. How do tracks normally for you start off?
It's changed over the years. I think when I was starting out, I didn't really, I still don't know enough about music, but I didn't really know very much about music at all. And when I started out, I kind of felt like I kind of needed the music, needed the musicality of a guitar or something to kind of hang a melody on and write that way. So I kind of do what you would call a songwriter's mumble, which is I was loving you, all that kind of stuff. These days, more than ever, um, I write lyrics, prolifically. You know, melodies wise, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and record a melody on my phone. Um, but generally speaking, it starts with the lyrics now for me. One of the things I never thought would happen is that actually a lot of my songwriting, in terms of then creating the musicality of a song,
Hmm.
uh, generally comes from playing the piano. And I didn't start playing the piano until about 4 years ago. And it's, I don't know why. I think it's just easier to kind of like have interesting melodies and kind of tweak them because you've got two hands to do things with. So you can kind of, you can, for those who don't know anything about music, you can kind of use your left hand to kind of create a bed to lay on, and your right hand, you can, paint the picture.
Yeah.
I guess is the way I would kind of talk about it like that. And then, I try and put the whole thing together and, make something that people aren't kind of going, yeah, it's okay, but what's it about? Like, it's I'm fascinated by music, I think, and there are so many ways to skin a cat. And that's kind of the way I do it. I hope that's not too long an answer.
No, all good. Vince, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and thanks for playing the music on the Syndicate.